First of all, if you don't turn around, you're going to get charged.
So why did you pull me over? I'm just wondering.
Because you're having sex in a parking lot.
Why?
I just told you. I just told you. Because you're having sex in a parking lot.
Why?
Well, right now you're going to be placed under arrest for DUI. Go ahead, turn around for me. Place your hands behind your back. Actually, before I put this one, let me take this off and put it in your. Here, hold on a second. I'm gonna take your watch off and put it in your. Actually.
In the early morning of April 8th, 2023, a police officer on routine patrol noticed a car running in a parking lot at 3 a.m. Upon approaching, he discovered a man and a woman unclothed, engaging in private activity. The officer instructed them to dress and requested their identification. The woman, later identified as Samantha, provided a driver's license belonging to another person named Erica. Suspecting alcohol impairment, the officer initiated a series of standardized field sobriety tests. Samantha struggled significantly, failing to maintain balance during the walk and turn test, failing to recite the alphabet correctly from D to Q, and inaccurately estimating a 30-second time interval as over a minute. Despite her claims of being sober, her physical symptoms and the smell of alcohol led the officer to place her under arrest. Samantha became agitated and resisted the officer without violence, repeatedly questioning the reason for her detainment. At the station, the deception was uncovered when the real owner of the license, Erica, confirmed she did not know Samantha. Samantha was ultimately charged with DUI, resisting an officer, and unlawful display of another's license. In the quiet hours of the graveyard shift, law enforcement officers often encounter situations that appear mundane, but quickly evolve into complex legal battles. This encounter at 3 a.m. is a masterclass in tactical patience and the scientific application of roadside sobriety testing. One of the most critical aspects of this case is the legal justification for the investigation. Samantha was not seen driving on a public highway. However, under the law, she was in active physical control of the vehicle. By sitting in the driver's seat with the engine running, she possessed the immediate ability to operate the car. Law enforcement recognizes this as a high-risk scenario. The officer's priority was intervention, preventing a high-speed collision before she ever pulled out of the parking lot. This proactive approach is the cornerstone of traffic safety and DUI prevention. From the initial contact, the suspect displayed classic signs of impairment that often go unnoticed by the untrained eye. Her giggling, the slow processing of simple requests, and her overly relaxed demeanor are early indicators of alcohol-induced euphoria. As the officer began his investigation, we see Samantha's transition from playful to confused and eventually to defensive. This cognitive dissonance, the inability to recognize her own level of intoxication, is exactly why standardized field sobriety tests are designed to be objective and unforgiving. Field sobriety tests are not merely balance tests, they are divided attention tasks. The walk and turn test, for example, requires the suspect to process complex verbal instructions while simultaneously maintaining a specific physical stance. Samantha failed at the very beginning by moving before the instructions were complete, a primary clue of impairment. Furthermore, the officer employed the alphabet recital and time estimation tests. These tasks target the prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain responsible for judgment and executive function. Samantha's failure to correctly recite the alphabet from D to Q and her massive overestimation of 30 seconds proved that her brain could no longer accurately perceive reality or follow a sequential logic. The situation turned from a misdemeanor investigation into a potential felony-level fraud when Samantha provided the driver's license of another woman named Erica. This act of deception is often a desperate attempt by suspects to hide a prior criminal record or a suspended license. In the eyes of the court, this fraudulent display is an aggravating factor. It shows a conscious intent to obstruct justice, which often leads to harsher sentencing. Crucially, it forced the officer to conduct a secondary investigation to verify the identity of the person he was actually arresting. Observation of the officer's performance reveals a high level of professionalism. Despite Samantha's eventual agitation and her repetitive questioning, a behavior known as perseveration, common in intoxicated individuals, the officer remained calm. He avoided escalating the physical tension, even when she resisted the handcuffs. Note his attention to detail, ensuring her jewelry and personal property were protected. This tactical kindness serves a dual purpose. It maintains the suspect's dignity and protects the department from liability, while keeping the officer focused on the primary task of securing the scene. Although Samantha's DUI charge was later reduced to reckless driving through a plea bargain, the weight of the arrest remained. With 9 months of probation, 100 hours of community service, and significant financial penalties, the cost of one night of poor judgment became permanent. This footage serves as a stark reminder to the public. A parked car with a running engine is not a safe haven for intoxication. It is a potential weapon, and law enforcement is trained to disarm it before it hits the road.
All right, sit tight real quick for me.
Sure.
Have you been drinking at all?
We both had a couple drinks there. Yes,
Let me see your eyes real quick.
Go ahead.
With the male's admission to both of them drinking, the roadside checkup now steps up into a DUI investigation.
All right, you're free to leave. Go ahead and begin.
I'm sorry.
Head will be tilted back, okay? What letter are you going to begin with?
T.
And what letter are you going to end with? Okay, go ahead, close your eyes. Tilt right back.
E, E, F, G, H, I, G, K, L, M, N, N, O, Q.
Okay. Okay, and how long was that?
I think like 55 or a minute.
Okay, and what was my instructions?
A minute.
Okay, how did you count that?
1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000,
Okay.
4, 1,000.
How much have you had to drink
What am I going to put on arrest for?
for DUI?
For what?
For DUI.
What did I do?
I just told you. Go turn around.
Can
Ma'am,
you tell
listen.
me again?
Yeah, you're under the influence of alcohol to the point that normal
But why
faculties are
did
being
you pull me
affected.
over?
First of all, if you don't turn around, you're going to get
But
charged.
why did
Listen.
you pull me over? I'm just wondering.
Go ahead.
Because you're having sex in
Why?
a parking lot.
Why did
I just
you
told
pull
you.
me over?
I just told you. Because you're having sex in a parking
Okay,
lot.
why are you guys here?
I just told you. Turn around.
Why?
Turn around. I'm not going to play with you. This isn't how it goes. We're not doing roadside. And I told you multiple times already. You don't have sex in a parking lot, okay?
But why were you guys called?
Nobody called. I was doing my job and
But
patrolling
why
the
were you
neighborhood.
guys called?
Nobody was called.
But why did you guys come?
Because it's my job to patrol.
But why did you guys come?
Stop.
But why did you guys come?
Acting up.
Yeah, man. Hey, ma'am, I'm going to get you those shoes that you're wearing because those are his. And I have these for you. Hear me? Let me grab those shoes. Thank you.
I got it.
That one? Thank you. Thank you.
That changed.
Here, go over there so it doesn't unlock again.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be on my way.
No, mine is if I personally tell
The
it.
public reaction to the story has been very lively. Here's what people are saying.
I can't think of many more embarrassing things than being caught mid-coitus by the fuzz. I'm sure they've seen it more times than they want to admit. Doesn't make it any less awkward.
Because you don't act like trash and have sex in a parking lot that is gross and disgusting, have a little respect as a woman.
I mean, the spread of disease is gross. I think we should bring back public decency laws and have really, really harsh punishments for breaking them. Clean society up real fast.
I've been through this, and it looks like they were on private property. You can't just go arrest someone on private property for DWI. You have to have a reason to be on property as invited. Yes, they can patrol and investigate, but that is it, and warn them if they are intoxicated. I mean, he will arrest them when they get on public road. Get you a good lawyer. In my case, a family member owned the business we were behind.
Conviction. Alcohol-related reckless driving reduced from original DUI. Primary sentence, 9 months of probation, 100 hours of community service, and 10 days of vehicle impoundment. Mandatory conditions, 0 tolerance for alcohol or drugs, random testing, and payment of all court fees. Note, charges for fake ID and resisting an officer were dropped by the court.